What is up, Packers fans? Welcome back to another edition of the Packer People Top 300 list, tiered list. We're talking about safeties today, a position that Green Bay took 3 last year. Do they need one this year? Probably not. We'll get into that. I'm your host, Jacob Morley. You can find me on Twitter, X, all that stuff at Jacob Morley. Before we get into that, guys, let's take care of some business here. Let's go buy that draft guide. If you have not already bought the Packer Report draft guide, go do it now. It's a great book. It's got all this stuff that we're talking about on these episodes in it. I'm not giving you every single detail. I'm just kind of giving you a couple things through this list and through that feature article. But it's got 225 write-ups. It's got how they specifically would fit in Green Bay on every single write-up. Just something you really can't get anywhere else. I think it would be worth your investment. And if you have already bought it, we thank you so much. We really appreciate you guys for supporting our work and supporting that. If you have bought it, make sure you're leaving a positive comment in the comments, and we'll be sure to give you a shout out on the next episode or give you a retweet on the Twitter machine or anything like that, just because we do appreciate you guys supporting us and all that good stuff. So today, safeties. What does Green Bay typically like in safeties? I do feel like we have a pretty good grasp on this one. They've taken very similar athletes historically at this position. And that's exactly what the top 300, the Packer People list is we've looked at all these positions they've taken since the Ron Wolf era. And you look for common themes amongst them, things that kind of add up. And for this position, you're looking for, there's a height threshold, there's a weight threshold, and then the thing that really, really stands out is the guys that they take usually have big-time broad jumps. They like those explosive athletes at the safety position. They like guys that can put their foot in the ground and move. And I think that's kind of what you're finding out in that broad jump is, can you move forward in an explosive manner? And that's why they value that. Last year, 2024, Evan Williams was a tier 1 fit, checked every single box. Oladipo was a high fit. He did not have a great broad jump, but he did check a lot of other boxes. And then Javon Bullard was someone that was also a high fit, was not a tier 1 fit, but he had no disqualifiers. You look at him across the board, and he either hit or was really close on every single thing. So he's the type of athlete that they liked as well. Darnell Savage was a tier 1 fit. Interestingly enough, Xavier McKinney, they would not have drafted him. I don't think. He was not a great athlete coming out of Alabama. I think he was hurt when he tested too, so maybe that has something to do with it. But they've proven time and time again, if you have shown us you can play in the NFL, they will sign you as a free agent. I think a lot of the testing stuff goes out the window once you've played in the NFL and check those boxes. Like, okay, you are not our athlete, but you're a good enough athlete to play in this league, or you have figured out other ways to make it work for you. So this year for the Packers, I'm going to give you 2 names, and do the Packers need a safety? Not really. I mean, Xavier McKinney was an all-pro. Evan Williams was a really, really promising rookie. Javon Bullard had moments where he looked really good. I don't think you're passing up on anyone because Javon Bullard is on the team. If you love someone, then you're going to take them. Same with Oladipo. If you love someone, take him. He's your 4th safety right now. Zane Anderson is a special teams guy. So if you want to turn the bottom of the roster, kind of add some competition in that room, then there are guys that we're going to talk about today that I think make some sense for the Packers in that regard. The first guy on the list, his name is Craig Woodson out of Cal. He is a really, really fun player. He's in the 150s for us. Big-time athlete, 90th percentile broad jump, fits their size and weight thresholds. He is a guy that I think is a true split safety. You can get him on the field. He was a team captain once he was in college. He was a 5th or 6th year guy. He's a little bit older. I think he's a 24-year-old prospect. So you're probably getting someone that is a little bit more of a finished product. He probably just is what he's going to be. And if that is I think he can be a starting safety on a good team. If they run like a cover 2, cover 3 type scheme, I think he can absolutely fit into that role. He played in the slot for Cal a bit as well, and both the guys I'm going to talk about today. That is interesting to me because they drafted Bullard last year to play safety, but he played in the slot as well. I think they like those types, and so even though he might not come in and replace Bullard, he could do some of the same stuff that Javon does for this team if he is to be the full-time slot. Bullard, that is. Woodson is a super, super intelligent player. One thing that I really like about watching him is he is like the communicator on the back end of that defense for Cal. And, Cal's got a talented secondary. They had Noah Williams. They've got another corner that could get drafted. They've got guys in that secondary that can play in this league. And one thing that I really liked about him is he is always barking out things on the back end. Like I said, if there's a bunch formation, he is really, really good at dissecting it, making sure he is figuring out who he's going to have, who's going to be in his zone, who is going to be his responsibility within the scheme of whatever defense they're running. So he's someone that I think would fit in really well just from a pure intelligence standpoint. And you say like Evan Williams was that way too last year when you watched him at Oregon. He just was smart. Like he just put himself in positions to make plays, even though he wasn't the 99th percentile athlete, didn't run a 4.3, all that stuff. If you got the intelligence and you run a 4.5, 4.6, and you got a head start, that doesn't matter. That is Xavier McKinney. That's a 4.6 safety that is just really intelligent and puts himself in a position to make plays. So he's a guy that would be fun. He's a tone setter. He's a good tackler. Flies all over the field. He'll run the alley and hit. He's not the biggest guy in the world, but he still will throw his body around, and he's good at getting guys on the ground. Negatives for him, he is not the biggest of playmakers. I don't think he had a ton of turnover production. I don't think he plays the ball super well in the air. He kind of panics when the ball is in flight at times. And what I mean by that is, some guys just have a natural feel to just go get the football. Boom. Like center fielder, ball's mine. I'm going to go get it. I'm going to track it. I'm going to bring it to me. Those guys usually play on the offensive side of the ball as well. That's probably why he does play defense. But he does struggle in that area. He can be a half step slow on crossing routes at times, since that's where you see some of the speed deficiencies kind of rear their ugly head, is in situations like that. So he's going to have to, figure that out and do a little bit better job at that. If he did end up with the Packers, I think, he is the classic guy that'll play in this league for 7 to 8, 10 years, maybe never be a star, but be a good player, maybe a depth piece and special teams player, and maybe more. And where you're going to get him, probably rounds 5, 6, 7, I think that's fine. I think that's a home run pick. If you get someone that is going to play out their rookie contract, be a spot starter for you, be a special teams player for you, he's a really, really nice depth piece. And I don't think he's ever going to be a high-end starter, but he could be a starter on a good team. So he's an interesting guy. And the next guy I'm going to talk to about is, he's not, if you have the guide, you're going to see he is not technically a tier 1. He does not technically check every single box. He is 1 pound short of the weight threshold that we have set. And it is frustrating to me when we're doing this stuff, because there are guys like this that I want to be like, he's a tier 1. He's just 1 pound off. You do it, but anyone that works with numbers knows you got to draw the line somewhere. You can't be making exceptions for all these guys. But I'm still going to talk about him because that is literally the only thing. And that's Marquis Seagull out of Kansas State. He's someone that's really, really intriguing to me. If you guys know my background, I write a Bison report as well. And Marquis Seagull played at North Dakota State for his first few years of eligibility. And North Dakota State played him outside at corner. And granted, FCS level, he's not playing in the Big 12. He's not playing in the SEC. But when I tell you he played on the outside and just eliminated that half of the field, that is what he did at NDSU. I was a little bit surprised that K-State played him at safety. And, K-State plays that defense where they've got like 5 defensive backs on the field and they call them all safety. And it's just weird. He was a slot at K-State is really what he did. And I think he could find a role there in the NFL as well. I would let him fail outside first. Like, go play outside corner for us first. And we'll see if that works. If not, we'll move you inside, and you've got some versatility. You've got some room to work with Seagull. He is a 96 percentile athlete, 9.64 RAS score, 96 percentile broad jump. I mean, he is that dude when you talk about athleticism. He is every bit as athletic as any of these. I didn't do that. Well, yeah, he's got the. Oh no, Iman Worry's got the highest RAS score at 10. He's the best ever. But beyond that, Marquise Seagull has the second highest RAS in this year's safety draft class of top 300 type picks. So he's someone that is really, really intriguing. And you look at him and you're like, okay, well, do they need a safety? No, but could Seagull come in and compete at outside corner? Could he compete at slot? Could he? And then also, could he back up Xavier? Could he back up Javon Bullard? I think the answer to all that stuff is yes. So he's someone to me that if you would bring him in, I think you let him compete at several different spots. He's going to be a special teams demon from day one. He could very well be your Zane Anderson replacement from the jump. And I don't know if they want to do that. I know they love having a guy like Zane Anderson on the team just to play teams, someone that they trust, someone that's done it. So I don't know if they would do that, but he could. So he's someone that, when you get to that day 3 range and you talk about lottery ticket types, he is a guy that I think just has so much untapped potential still. I'm not going to say he was misused at K-State because he was a really good football player there for them. But I just think he has some ability on the outside that I would like to at least explore at the NFL level and in a capacity that you're not asking him to play right away. He's a guy that I think would be a really, really fun project for Jeff Hafley if you were to be a Packer and if they were to take him on day 3 or maybe I think he gets drafted. I do think he gets drafted. But I do know some people have him as a UDFA as well. And in this year's draft class, picks 100 to 300. I mean, there's a lot of guys that are very similarly ranked. So I wouldn't be surprised. But either way, those are my 2 safeties. There are, I didn't give you the total numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 safeties in this year's draft class that are tier 1 perfect fits. And then Marquise Seagull technically isn't. So I would just say 6.5. So keep an eye out for him. Keep an eye out for Craig Woodson. And if you want to know who the other players are, make sure you are buying yourself a draft guide. Get that in your inbox. And then you can know who all of the tier 1 fits are. And do not be surprised on draft day when they take those guys. All right. That is it for us today. We'll be back next week, early Monday. I think Andy will get this up. But yeah, that's it. So until next time, be excellent to each other and go Pack Go.